At my baby's first birthday party, my in-laws took over everything. They replaced the cake I made, changed the playlist, and told guests it was a joint celebration for my sister-in-law's promotion. I tried to speak up, but my husband whispered, "Don't make a scene. It's just one day." Later, I found out they'd sent out new invitations without my name on them. When I asked why, his mother smiled and said, "People don't need to know the messy details." I'm a 33-year-old mom living in Spokane, Washington. My husband, Mark, and I have been married for 4 years. Our daughter, Ellie, just turned 2. This story starts last year, right after Ellie's first birthday party, or what should have been her first birthday party. The thing is, I planned that party down to the tiniest detail. I picked the spot, Manitou Park, where Mark and I used to walk when I was pregnant. I spent days baking her cake. Pink frosting, vanilla and strawberry swirl, shaped like a number 1. I made a playlist with lullabies, soft country songs, and a few Disney tracks for the kids. I picked out a little white dress for Ellie and made matching pink decorations with her name on them. I sent out invitations to family and close friends. I made it clear this was a party for Ellie. Nothing else. No distractions. No other announcements. I wanted this to be hers. Her moment. The day of the party, I got to the shelter and stopped dead in my tracks. It was completely different. There were decorations everywhere, but none of them were the ones I made. Instead, the picnic tables were covered with blue tablecloths and huge signs that read, "Congratulations, Rachel." Rachel is my sister-in-law. She had just gotten promoted at her job. Good for her. But this wasn't her party. The cake I had spent hours on was gone. Replaced with a big Costco sheet cake that said, "Congrats, Rachel," in bold blue letters. There was no mention of Ellie on it. There were no balloons with Ellie's name. No photos of her. No soft music. Just loud pop songs coming from a speaker I didn't bring. At first, I thought it was a mistake. A mix-up. Maybe there was a double booking. Maybe someone set up in the wrong shelter. But then I saw Mark. He was standing near the cake, laughing with his mom and Rachel. I pulled him aside and said, "Where's the cake I made? Where are Ellie's decorations?" He looked annoyed, like I was ruining something. My mom thought it'd be easier to just combine it. She got a sheet cake and put everything together. "It's fine. Don't make a scene. It's just one day." I just stared at him. "Just one day?" I asked. "One day that I've been planning for weeks? Our daughter's first birthday." He leaned closer and whispered, "Please, don't do this now." I looked around and realized this wasn't Ellie's birthday party. It was Rachel's promotion party, with Ellie as a convenient side note. I started asking guests what they saw on the invitations. Most of them said they got an invite from Mark's mom. One woman, an old neighbor of theirs, even said, "I didn't know Mark's wife's name." What was it again? I felt like I'd been erased. Later, I confronted my mother-in-law. I asked, "Why did you send out different invitations?" She gave me a fake smile and said, "People don't need to know the messy details. It just looks better this way." Rachel worked so hard. And Ellie's too young to remember. I was stunned. Not only had they hijacked my daughter's birthday, but they had sent out new invitations without my name on them. They never even told me. They threw away the cake I made. They changed the playlist. They made Rachel the center of attention and told everyone else that was always the plan. I took Ellie home early. Mark stayed behind. That night, while feeding Ellie in her room, I sat there in the dark with tears running down my face. I felt humiliated, disrespected, unseen. Like I was nothing more than the woman who gave birth to their granddaughter and not someone worth acknowledging. And that was the night I decided I'd never let that happen again. I started planning my revenge the next day. It took almost a full year. But when I was done, they all knew exactly who they were messing with. I didn't say anything for a long time after that day. Not to Mark. Not to his mom. Not even to Rachel. But I changed. I started writing everything down. Every little slight. Every time his mother accidentally left me out of a family group text. Every time Rachel posted pictures from the party with captions like, "Best day ever with my amazing family." Not a single photo of Ellie or me. Mark and I grew distant. I tried to talk about it, how they made me feel, how he didn't defend me, but he always brushed it off. "It's just how they are," he'd say. "Don't take it personally." But it was personal. So I made it personal. I started building my plan around Ellie's second birthday. I was going to make it huge. Not just to celebrate her, but to make a point. I started months ahead. I rented a different venue, nicer, private, with a lake view just outside Spokane. I hired a real decorator, a local baker to make a custom cake, entertainment for the kids, a photographer. And I didn't tell anyone on Mark's side. Not even Mark. I created 2 birthday parties. One fake, one real. For the fake one, I made simple eats for a casual family picnic at the same park from last year. I used the same style they did. No mention of me. Just come celebrate Ellie's second year with family. Sent it from a new Gmail account I made under Ellie's Family Events. I made sure the picnic looked real. Bought a small cake, basic balloons, even dropped off a cooler full of drinks the night before. Something they could find and assume I just hadn't shown up yet. The real party? It was perfect. My family and real friends were there. Ellie wore a soft purple dress with her name embroidered on it. Her cake had butterflies and her favorite toy bear made in fondant. We had a bubble artist, a small petting zoo, and a food truck for grown-ups. I even had a table set up with framed pictures from her first year, photos they never saw, because I stopped posting in the family group chat months ago. And while they were at the park wondering where everyone was, we were taking pictures on a dock at sunset. Mark found out around 3 p.m. He called me 4 times. I didn't answer. He texted, "Where are you?" I finally replied, "At Ellie's birthday party." He called again. I let it ring. Eventually, he showed up to the real venue. Alone. Confused. Angry. He asked, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Why would I? You didn't tell me when your mom erased me from her party. I figured you liked surprises." He looked like he wanted to yell. But there were people around. A photographer. Friends. My dad. So he left. Later that night, his mom called me. Voicemail. "I hope you feel proud of yourself. You embarrassed this family. You used Ellie to play your little games." I didn't respond. I saved the message. The next week, I filed for a legal separation. Not because of the party. Because of what came after. Rachel posted photos from the fake party. "Still made it a beautiful day for Ellie," she wrote. I wasn't in a single picture. And that's when I realized they never saw me as family. They saw me as a womb. I wasn't going to raise my daughter around people who treated her mother like trash. I wasn't done yet. A few days after I filed for separation, Mark showed up at my apartment. I'd moved out quietly the day after the Real party with Ellie while he was staying at his mom's. I'd been planning that move for weeks too, kept boxes in my friend Dana's garage, and worked out a rental through one of her coworkers. Mark looked tired. Eyes sunken. No ring. "Can we talk?" he asked. I let him in. Not for him. Just because Ellie was napping and I didn't want drama in the hallway. He stood there awkwardly, glancing at the stack of legal papers on my kitchen counter. "You really did it," he said. I nodded. "Yeah, I meant it." He rubbed his face. "You should have told me you were planning a separate party." I leaned against the counter. "And you should have told me your family replaced our daughter's birthday with a promotion party." We're past should have. There was a pause. Then he said something that made me want to slap him. "Look, maybe we didn't handle it right. But you humiliated my mom." I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so pathetic. "Your mom?" She erased me from Ellie's first birthday. Sent out fake invitations. Took over everything. I wasn't even a name on her version of the party. "And you think I embarrassed her?" He didn't answer. I walked over, opened the front door. She's not Ellie's mother. I am. You had your chance to stand by me. You made your choice. Now you live with it. He left. But the story didn't end there. The real twist came weeks later when I went to the pediatrician's office for Ellie's 2-year checkup. A nurse handed me a form and said, "There's a new insurance policy listed under your daughter's name. It doesn't match the one we've been using." That was strange. I called my insurance. Everything was fine on my end. Then I called the new provider listed. After some back and forth, I found out someone else had tried to switch Ellie's primary insurance to a family plan under Rachel's name. Rachel had submitted paperwork claiming she had partial guardianship. I was stunned. I called my lawyer. We filed an emergency motion to block any legal claim from being processed. I also requested access to all submitted documents. Rachel had included a letter, signed by Mark, saying she was helping out during a period of family restructuring and that Ellie would be staying with them frequently. That was a lie. Ellie had never stayed with them overnight. Not once since I left. I sent copies of everything to my lawyer, and we filed for a full custody order with supervised visitation for Mark until further review. When Mark found out, he called me screaming. "Why are you trying to take my daughter away from me? You let your sister file guardianship paperwork behind my back," I snapped. "You're lucky I'm not pressing charges." He swore he didn't know she'd done that. That his mom had probably told her it was temporary. I didn't believe him. I also didn't care. The court sided with me. The judge didn't like that Mark had signed anything related to custody without notifying me. He was ordered to complete a parental responsibility course before we'd revisit custody. I told the judge everything about the party, the invites, the insurance fraud attempt. My lawyer laid it all out. Emails, texts, the voicemail from his mom. That voicemail became Exhibit A. I thought that would be the end of it, but I wasn't done yet. They wanted to play family games? I was about to show them what happens when you push a mother too far. After the court hearing, I finally started to feel like I had control again. Ellie was safe. I was away from them. But I wasn't finished. Because even though I won that round, they kept poking at me. Mark's mom sent cards to my apartment. For Ellie, the envelopes always said, but the messages inside were never really for her. One read, "One day she'll know the truth. That you kept her from her real family." Another, "Ellie deserves better than secrets and lies. You're hurting her, not helping her. She was trying to break me down piece by piece. Make me question myself." But I was done with that. So I planned one last move. See, Rachel had always been the golden one in their family. She lived in Seattle, worked for a big tech company. Every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, it was, "Did you hear what Rachel did? Rachel's flying out again. We're so proud of her." She loved the spotlight. She lived for praise. For appearances. And I'd found a crack. A few weeks after the party mess, a friend of mine from college messaged me. She worked in HR at the same company Rachel did. She said, "Hey, don't know if you want to hear this, but Rachel's name is coming up in an internal review. Something about falsified documents submitted with her healthcare account." My stomach dropped. I asked her if it had anything to do with a child named Ellie. She paused, then sent me a message that said, "You need to talk to a lawyer right now." So I did. We opened a formal investigation into the insurance fraud. Turns out, Rachel had submitted Ellie's info, including her social security number, to enroll her in dependent coverage. That's not just shady. It's a crime. She wasn't Ellie's parent, had no legal rights, and she'd lied on a federal form. When it all came out, her company put her on leave immediately. Rachel tried to play dumb. Said it was a misunderstanding. That her mother had filled out some of the forms for her. Blamed everyone but herself. But it didn't work. She was fired 2 weeks later. Her reputation? Shot. I didn't say a word. I just waited. Mark called me 3 days after her termination. You're really proud of yourself, aren't you? He spat into the phone. You helped someone commit insurance fraud, I said calmly. You're lucky I haven't reported you too. He went quiet. I added, I didn't want any of this. But you let them try to take over my daughter's life. You let them humiliate me. And when I tried to talk to you about it, you told me not to make a scene. He tried to say something, but I hung up. I didn't hear from him again for months. Then one day, I got a letter from his lawyer. He was giving up full custody. Didn't want to fight anymore. Wanted visitation rights eventually, but agreed to give me primary custody with no contest. No mediation. Just walked away. I cried when I read it. Not from sadness. From release. From finally knowing that I'd fought for my daughter and won. Mark moved out of state. Rachel stayed quiet after that. Their mother still tries to send letters, but I send them back unopened. Ellie's 3 now. She knows who loves her. She laughs with my parents, plays in our backyard, sings to herself when she colors. I still get mad sometimes. At what I went through. At how small they tried to make me feel. But I don't regret a second of what I did. They thought I'd stay quiet forever. They thought I'd accept being erased. They forgot who I was. I was Ellie's mother. And I made damn sure no one ever forgot that again.